Hi everyone, this is Mrs. V Chan. Welcome to my Form 6 business lesson number 6. And today is 28th March 2020. Okay, we are going to have part 2 of working capital management, and which is inventory management or stock management. Alright, so why we have to do that? Because if the firm keeps too much inventory, actually this is no good. The firm will suffer. Or another situation. So what about if the business is not keeping enough inventory? Also, the firm will suffer. So that's why today's lesson is about inventory management or stock management. Okay, so in the first situation, if the firm keeps too much inventory or you keep too much inventory, that means you may have capital being locked up. Alright, so you may have liquidity problem because it takes time for the firm or business to sell inventory to get back money. Okay, and also you will pay more expenses for warehousing because you need space for storage, to pay rents, things like that, and you may need to pay insurance to get compensation when you have inventory being stolen or being damaged. Okay, and this is another concern for security as well. Okay, so if you keep too much inventory, so you may also suffer from the risk of deterioration of your inventory. That means your inventory may become damaged or become outdated. Alright, so also during the period of price falling, so that is deflation, so very often we may have the selling price which is lower than the costs for buying the inventory. So therefore you also suffer a loss of inventory during the period of price falling. Okay, now we come to the opposite. So what about if you do not have enough inventory? Okay, so therefore you may lose your reputation, you lost your goodwill because you may have delay in production if you do not have enough inventory or enough raw materials for production. So what happened? Then you will lose customers. Okay, so in order to compensate that, so you need to spend more money on overtime payments because you need to pay expenses on wages, on salaries in order to meet the customer's order. Okay, so therefore we come to these objectives of inventory management. So make sure that the business has enough or adequate level of inventory to meet the customer, and also the costs related to the inventory like storage, like expenses, warehousing, insurance, and security should be minimized. Alright, so how do we maintain the appropriate level of inventory? So we have this model, we call that EOQ model, and EOQ stands for economic order quantity. Alright, so to study this model, the first thing we need to look at the components of inventory costs. Okay, and then we have two things here. So one is ordering costs and one is carrying costs. So that we have this total inventory costs is the sum of ordering costs and carrying costs. Okay, now here is the first component of inventory costs, which is ordering cost. So for example, we need to buy inventory from supplier. So therefore we need to place order first. Okay, and then we need to pay money to supplier, and then we need to wait for delivery of the inventory to our firm. So this is all about ordering costs. Now, for example, we have two situations here. Let's say if each year we need 100,000 units of inventory to be purchased from supplier. Okay, so the first case, let's say we order each time 1,000 number of units. So therefore, how many orders are there in a year? So I need to do this calculation. So each year, let's say we need 100,000 number of units, and each time we order 1,000 units, so divided by 1,000 units, so you can work out how many orders are there in a year. So I have this cancel out, so therefore each year we need 100 orders. Right, okay, so now situation number 2. So what about this time if we order more each time? We order 10,000 units more, so then how many orders are there? So that will be, this is the amount we need in a year, so 100,000, and then divided by 10,000 number of units, so that how many orders are there? So this cancel out, so we just need 10 orders. Okay, so what is the conclusion? So that means if each time we order more quantity, that means we will have less number of orders, right? Okay, so therefore, this is number of orders per year, okay, times each time we have these ordering costs per order, like we need to place order with our supplier, and then we have money costs, we have delivery costs and time costs, things like that. So therefore, we have this formula to calculate ordering costs, which is equal to ordering cost per order times number of orders per year. And then how do we get this number of orders per year, which is also same as annual demand for goods? All right, and goods here is same as inventory, same as stock, so divided by order quantity each time. Okay, here we have the formula of ordering costs, so which is equal to F times D over Q. And F means ordering costs per order, and D is the annual demand for goods or inventory that we need to buy from the supplier, and Q is the order quantity. Okay, and this is the formula for ordering costs. Okay, so here we have the diagram showing the relationship between total ordering cost and order quantity. Okay, in the first situation, if we just order 1,000 number of units, that means we will have more number of orders, therefore we pay more. So when the order is 100, we need to pay more ordering costs. Okay, now in the second situation, so what about if each time we order more quantity? That means we have less number of orders. If we have less number of orders, that means we have less ordering costs. Therefore, order quantity higher, that means we have lower ordering costs. So you can see the relationship in this diagram is downward sloping. Okay, so here is the second component of inventory cost, which is carrying costs. Okay, there is another name, which is also called holding costs. So why we need to pay this kind of costs? So why we have this cost incurred? Because we need warehousing, storage expenses. We need to buy insurance to make sure that we get compensation when we have inventory being stolen. Okay, and then we may have opportunity cost of money being tied up. So therefore, the carrying costs here is the formula. We have this carrying cost per unit times average inventory. And how do we do average inventory? So it would be same as order quantity, okay, divided by 2. We take average in this way. So here we have the formula of carrying costs, so which is C times Q over 2. So C means carrying costs per unit. So the amounts that we need to pay for storage, for insurance, for security, okay? And then Q is the order quantity, and then divided by 2, that means we take average. Okay, so this is the formula for carrying. This is the formula for carrying costs. Okay, and after that, same, we have this diagram showing the relationship between total carrying costs and order quantity. So remember, the more we order, the more inventory we have, the more expenses we need to spend on storage, warehousing, security, and insurance, so that the diagram will be upward sloping. Okay, all right, so this is carrying costs. That means if we don't have any inventory, we don't need to pay warehousing, we don't need to pay security for insurance, things like that. However, if we have more inventory in quantity, there are more expenses on insurance, on security, on storage, on warehousing. So here we put these two components together and get total inventory costs is equal to ordering costs plus carrying costs, and which is same as F times D over Q plus C times Q over 2. And also we have this diagram to link them all up together so that we have this total costs and order quantity. Okay, first one, we have the one downward sloping. So which one is downward sloping? That is ordering costs. Because the more quantity we order each time, the less number of order we have, so that we have less ordering costs. And then we have another one, which is upward sloping, and that is the carrying costs. The more inventory we have, the more carrying costs we need to pay. All right. Okay, so carrying cost is upward sloping, and then ordering cost is downward sloping. So, and the total of this carrying cost and ordering costs is the total inventory costs. So therefore, we get this curve, which is total inventory costs. And then you will realize that the lowest point, which is also the lowest inventory costs, which is also the intersection for carrying cost and ordering costs. So this is how we get the best point for inventory to give us the lowest inventory costs. So this is the idea of EOQ model, and EOQ stands for economic order quantity. Okay, so here we come to conclusion saying that total inventory costs will be minimized when ordering costs and carrying costs, when they meet each other, when they intersect with each other, right? So what is ordering costs? Ordering costs is same as F times D over Q. And also carrying costs is same as C times Q over 2. Okay, next I'm going to change subject to Q. So therefore, to rewrite that in this way. Agree with me? Okay, and after that, I do cross multiplication so that I will have CQ squared times 2FD. Okay, I put my subjects on the left hand side. I move this C to the right hand side. So I need to do this divided by C. And then what is Q? Q square is this. So I need to take square roots. So that is 2FD over C. Okay, so when Q is equal to this, and also this is the Q, which is the best point by EOQ model. So I will have 2FD over C to get the lowest inventory costs when the quantity order is this. So this is how we use EOQ model to enjoy inventory costs at the lowest point. Okay, now we come to the final thing for inventory management, which is about reordering points, saying that when should we go to supplier to place order again to buy our inventory. So this is the diagram. Horizontal axis, we have time, and then the vertical axis, we have inventory level, and here is safety stock. We always keep safety stock in order to cope with unexpected situation. For example, we may have sudden increase in sales. We may have unexpected delay of inventory delivery. So that on top here, we add EOQ. So at the beginning, this is the inventory. Okay, after we make sales, so inventory is decreasing. And at this point, here, okay, we call that reordering points. That means at this point, when we have this level of inventory, we must go to supplier to place order to order our inventory. Okay, so here we have the formula of reordering points, which is equal to daily usage times number of days for delivery plus safety stock. So you can see what is meaning of daily usage, which is the sales per day. So the more sales we are going to make, the more reorder point, the higher reordering points. Okay, and also the more days that we need to wait for delivery, the higher the inventory level for reordering points. And then the more safety stock we need to keep, the higher the reordering points. So this is about the idea, when should we go to the supplier to buy again. Okay, so that's all about working capital management. Thank you for watching my video. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.